Act 3. The Happy Home. The scene is the hall of their island home, 2 years later. This sturdy log house is no mere extension of the hut we have seen in process of erection, but has been built a mile or less to the west of it, on higher ground and near a stream. When the master chose this site, the others thought that all he expected from the stream was a sufficiency of drinking water. They know better now, every time they go down to the mill or turn on the electric light. This hall is the living room of the house, and walls and roof are of stout logs. Across the joists supporting the roof are laid many homemade implements, such as spades, saws, fishing rods, and from hooks in the joists are suspended cured foods, of which hams are specially in evidence. Deep recesses halfway up the walls contain various provender in barrels and sacks. There are some skins, trophies of the chase, on the floor, which is otherwise bare. The chairs and tables are in some cases hewn out of solid wood, and in others the result of rough but efficient carpentering. Various pieces of wreckage from the yacht have been turned to novel uses. Thus the steering wheel now hangs from the center of the roof, with electric lights attached to it, encased in bladders. A life buoy has become the back of a chair. 2 barrels have been halved and turned coyly from each other as a settee. The farther end of the room is more strictly the kitchen, and is a great recess which can be shut off from the hall by folding doors. There is a large open fire in it. The chimney is half of one of the boats of the yacht. On the walls of the kitchen proper are many plate racks containing shells. There are rows of these of one size and shape, which mark them off as dinner plates or bowls. Others are as obviously tureens. They are arranged primly as in a well-conducted kitchen. Indeed, neatness and cleanliness are the notes struck everywhere, yet the effect of the whole is romantic and barbaric. The outer door into this hall is a little peculiar on an island. It is covered with skins and is in 4 leaves, like the swing doors of fashionable restaurants, which allow you to enter without allowing the hot air to escape. During the winter season, our castaways have found the contrivance useful, but Crichton's brain was perhaps a little lordly when he conceived it. Another door leads by a passage to the sleeping rooms of the house, which are all on the ground floor, and to Crichton's workroom, where he is at this moment, and whither we should like to follow him, but in a play we may not, as it is out of sight. There is a large window space without a window, which however can be shuttered, and through this we have a view of cattle sheds, fowl pens, and a field of grain. It is a fine summer evening. Tweeny is sitting there, very busy plucking the feathers off a bird and dropping them on a sheet placed for that purpose on the floor. She is trilling to herself in the lightness of her heart. We may remember that Tweeny, alone among the women, had dressed wisely for an island when they fled the yacht, and her going-away gown still adheres to her, though in fragments. A score of pieces have been added here and there as necessity compelled, and these have been patched and repatched in incongruous colors, but when all is said and done, it can still be maintained that Tweeny wears a skirt. She is deservedly proud of her skirt, and sometimes lends it on important occasions when approached in the proper spirit. Someone outside has been whistling to Tweeny. The guarded whistle, which, on a less savage island, is sometimes assumed to be an indication to cook that the constable is willing, if the coast be clear. Tweeny, however, is engrossed, or perhaps she is not in the mood for a follower, so he climbs in at the window undaunted to take her willy-nilly. He is a jolly-looking laboring man who answers to the name of Daddy, but though that may be his island name, we recognize him at once. He is Lord Loam, settled down to the new conditions and enjoying life heartily as handyman about the happy home. He is comfortably attired in skins. He is still stout, but all the flabbiness is dropped from him. Gone too is his pomposity. His eye is clear, brown his skin. He could leap a gate. In his hands he carries an island-made concertina, and such is the exuberance of his spirits that as he lights on the floor, he bursts into music and song, something about his being a chickadee, chickadee, chick, chick, and will Tweeny please to tell him whose chickadee chick is she? Retribution follows sharp. We hear a whir, as if from insufficiently oiled machinery, and over the passage door appears a placard showing the one word, silence. His lordship stops and steals to Tweeny on his tiptoe.
I thought the gun was out.
Well, you see he ain't. And if he were to catch you here idling.
Loam lays aside his musical instrument and hurriedly dons an apron. Tweeny gives him the bird to pluck and busies herself laying the table for dinner.
What is he doing now?
I think he's working out that plan for laying on hot and cold.
And he'll manage it too. The man who could build a blacksmith's forge without tools.
He made the tools.
Out of half a dozen rusty nails. The sawmill, Tweeny. The speaking tube. The electric lighting. And look at the use he has made of the bits of the yacht that were washed ashore. And all in 2 years. He's a master I'm proud to pluck for.
Loam chirps happily at his work, and Tweeny regards him curiously.
Daddy, you're of little use, but you're a bright, cheerful creature to have about the house. Do you ever think of old times now? We was a bit different.
Circumstances alter cases.
But, Daddy, if the chance was to come of getting back,
I have given up bothering about it.
you bothered that day long ago when we saw a ship passing the island. How we ran like crazy folk into the water, Daddy, and screamed and held out our arms. But it sailed away, and we've never seen another.
If we had had the electrical contrivance we have now, we could have attracted that ship's notice. A touch on that lever, Tweeny, and in a few moments bonfires would be blazing all around the shore.
It's the most wonderful thing he has done.
And then England, home.
Oh, London of a Saturday night.
My lords, in rising once more to address this historic chamber.
There was a little ham and beef shop off Edgware Road.
Tweeny, do you think I could have an egg to my tea?
At this moment, a wiry, athletic figure in skins darkens the window. He is carrying 2 pails, which are suspended from a pole on his shoulder, and he is Ernest. We should say that he is Ernest completely changed if we were of those who hold that people change. As he enters by the window, he has heard Lord Loam's appeal and is perhaps justifiably indignant.
What is that about an egg? Why should you have an egg?
That is my affair, sir. The gob has never put my head in a bucket.
Loam withdraws stiffly from the room.
Nor mine for nearly 3 months. It was only last week, Tweeny, that he said to me, Ernest, the water cure has worked marvels in you, and I question whether I shall require to dip you any more. Of course, that sort of thing encourages a fellow.
Tweeny has now arranged the dinner table to her satisfaction.
I will say, Ernie, I have never seen a young chap more improved.
Thank you, Tweeny. That's very precious to me.
Tweeny retires to the fire to work the great bellows with her foot, and Ernest turns to Treherne, who has come in looking more like a cowboy than a clergyman. He has a small box in his hand which he tries to conceal.
What have you got there, John?
Don't tell anybody. It is a little present for the gov, a set of razors, one for each day in the week.
Ernest opens the box and examines its contents.
Shells. You'll like that. He likes sets of things.
Have you noticed that?
Rather.
He's becoming a bit magnificent in his ideas.
John, it sometimes gives me the creeps.
What do you think of that brilliant robe he got the girls to make for him?
I think he looks too regal in it.
Regal. I sometimes fancy that that's why he's so fond of wearing it. Well, I must take these down to the grindstone and put an edge on them.
I say, John, I want a word with you.
Well?
Dash it all, you know you're a clergyman.
One of the best things the gov has done is to insist that none of you forget it.
Then Would you, John?
What?
Officiate at a marriage ceremony, John?
Now, that's really odd.
Odd? Seems to me it's natural. And whatever is natural, John, is right.
I mean that the same question has been put to me today already.
By one of the women?
Oh, no. They all put it to me long ago. This was by the Gov himself.
By Jove! I say, John, what an observant beggar he is.
Ah, you fancy he was thinking of you.
I do not hesitate to affirm, John, that he has seen the love light in my eyes. You answered.
I said yes. I thought it would be my duty to officiate if called upon.
You're a brick.
I wonder whether he was thinking of you.
Make your mind easy about that.
Well, my best wishes. Agatha is a very fine girl.
Agatha? What made you think it was Agatha?
Man alive, you told me all about it soon after we were wrecked.
Oh, pooh. Agatha's all very well in her way, John, but I'm flying at bigger game.
Ernest. Which is it?
Tweeny, of course.
Tweeny. Ernest, I hope her cooking has nothing to do with this.
Her cooking has very little to do with it.
But she does return your affection.
Yes, John, I believe I may say so. I am unworthy of her, but I think I have touched her heart.
Some people seem to have all the luck. As you know, Catherine won't look at me.
I'm sorry, John.
It's my deserts. I'm only good at cricket. Well, my heartiest good wishes, Ernest.
Thank you, John. How's the little black pig today?
He has begun to eat again.
Treherne departs.